What's up, Carl? Episode 5 of Bros on Sport. How's your week been?
Good afternoon, Ryan. How's it going?
It's going alright. We had the international break in football, so finally glad to have the Premier League back.
Back in action. I don't know. I think I mentioned this. I actually was grateful for the international break.
Oh, because of Chelsea's
Yeah.
form,
Yeah,
in different form.
They're playing well.
Yeah.
They're just
Mason Mount, guy to look out for, eh?
no, exactly, dude. They're playing well. They're just flipping conceding 300 goals. So like everyone's on 4 points at them, or 5 points. Can't even remember.
Yeah.
There's like 6-7 teams on 4 points. So like I know we're like in 14th or something place,
Yeah.
but just one win and
It's
everyone
early.
draws.
Early days.
It just changes, and we're just at the bottom of the pile because of that terrible loss against Man United.
Yeah. But it's
But-
just so hilarious to see Man United with their recent form. They were so happy off that 4-0 win, but don't want to make fun of Man United.
Yeah. This isn't a football episode. This
Yeah.
is going to be our Rugby World Cup special.
Rugby World Cup, when does it start?
So it starts next week, Friday. So basically
Okay.
the day this airs. Pretty
Okay.
much. That's when it starts.
Awesome.
It starts with Japan playing against Russia. So Russia is I think they're the lowest ranked team in the tournament.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
So I think it's a nice game to start off with Japan.
Yeah.
Because obviously patriotism, they want the Japanese fans to get out.
Yeah.
And then if Japan do well, then it's just sets it up the whole tournament. And Japan do have a chance of getting out of their group.
100%.
Small chance, but
I mean, they're more decent side than what people give them credit for.
exactly. But Ryan, tell me or tell us, how much did you know about rugby before last weekend?
So
Let's say before the 12th of November.
So-
How much did you know about rugby?
it's not a sport
Because
that I've followed very closely, especially over the last 5 to 7 years. Since going to uni, not having a TV, you're more inclined to pick a sport, and I've picked football. But my peak rugby following days coincided between 2004 and 2008. When Jake White was at the realm, and that was our glory period.
the Springboks glory period.
Yeah, winning the World Cup.
So much controversy around it as well, but
That was
topic for another day.
That was a good time to be a rugby fan. Weirdly enough, since I say the 2011 World Cup, I've
So
faded
you were
away.
a rugby fan when Skalkberger won Player of the Year.
So Skalkberger Player of the Year in 2004 and Habana Player of the Year after the Rugby World Cup year, 2007.
You scored 8 tries in that tournament, I think in 2007.
Yeah, look at you. Look at that trivia.
Yeah, I
Look at
just
that trivia.
happened to know it.
By the way, be prepared. I didn't tell you about this, but I've got some trivia.
Did I just answer one of the questions?
You answered on the question.
Look at that, dude. Look at that.
But I've got
Being
more-
extra prepared.
I've got more where that came from. So,
Okay,
you
that's
want-
interesting. I look forward to your trivia.
Okay.
But so our goal for this episode is just to basically have our discussion on what we think of the Rugby World Cup, why we're excited, who we think are going to get through the groups, kind of like we had in our Champions League episode.
Yeah.
And we're just going to give our useless input and see how much we know. So I don't know. Looking at the rankings, let's start there.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about rugby, you'd probably say Ireland are favourites to win.
So is Ireland number 1 at the moment?
They're number 1 in the world.
Okay, so I feel like there's been a bit of a swapping because someone told me a couple of weeks ago that Wales are number 1.
I also thought Wales are number 1, but they're clearly not. I've got the rankings in front of me.
Yeah, so maybe maybe they've been swapping and changing of late.
But the gap between 1 and 5 is 89.47 to 87.32.
So it's very close.
No, I don't know. That's quite far.
So wait, so number 1 has how many points?
89.47.
Oh, okay, and then number
and
5.
then Wales has 87.32. I obviously don't know how the points are awarded.
Yeah.
That's something for another day. It's not actually, no one actually cares. But so New Zealand dropped from number 1 with their recent poor performance against South Africa and Australia. And I don't really know what happened to Ireland.
But like you say, rankings mean enough in order to rank the teams going into a tournament. To sort out how the pools and stuff work. But in terms of the greater scheme of things, we don't really care about rankings, do we? We just consider whoever wins to be the best. It's like in football, World Cup, Cricket World Cup, Rugby World Cup, whoever wins is the best.
The Rugby World Cup, the difference between the Soccer World Cup and the Rugby World Cup is in the Rugby World Cup there's 5 teams in a group, or they call it a pool, and in soccer there's obviously 4. So in soccer you normally win one game, and if you draw the other 2, like you've got that safe point of 5 points.
Yeah.
So in rugby, if you're one of the top, let's say 8 sides in the world, because there are like a distinct difference between the top 8 and the rest. It's generally like you're going to have one tough game in your pool, and then the other games, then you'll probably have another challenging game, and then the other games should be easy victories.
And then two teams progress, eh?
2 teams progress.
Okay.
And then it goes straight to quarterfinals, then semifinals, and then they still have that useless third versus fourth playoff match. I don't get it.
What is the point of that match in general? Like whether it be in any tournament?
I think it's to see who can measure their cocks. I don't know. I really don't know. What's the point of it? Tell me. Maybe it's TV rights. Maybe they're getting more TV views.
Yeah, it's just like
I don't know. I feel like after you lose the semi-final, now you just have to go play this game, and you win, but you also don't win.
No one really cares about it. Just say if you lose in the semi-finals, consider it you're a semi-finalist. I only just saw.
Award both teams third place.
I only saw yesterday that we won the third and fourth playoff at the last World Cup. Yeah, it's because it's something that doesn't even really matter that much.
No, it's got no significance. I think we won it in '99 as well.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well, when I say we won it, we won the third versus fourth playoff match. Yay!
Yeah, no,
guys, we're so decorated.
Let's
and
throw away.
That's why we have such a South Africa has such a good win percentage in the World Cup, is because we generally win all our pool games, excluding the Japan one.
Yeah.
Last year, and then we lose one game. And every third versus fourth playoff game we've been in, we've won.
Yeah, we've actually been unlucky. So the last World Cup we lost in the semis, very close. I think it was 11-9 to New Zealand or something like that. And then the previous one we lost to Australia in the quarterfinals, also 11-9. So hopefully.
I don't know if I remember if that was the game where there was that controversial referee, the New Zealand referee.
In the Australia game.
Yeah.
I think there was something controversial about it.
I don't know if that was in the World Cup or if it was in the Tri-Nations.
We know how controversy works, though. If it's against you, it's a massive thing. If it's for you, you throw it underneath the carpet.
No, dude, definitely.
So
let's go back to the rankings. If you just look at the rankings, if you know nothing about the sport, you'd probably say, oh, well, looks like it's going to be an Ireland-New Zealand final.
Yeah.
If it works out like that, if the pools work out. I'm not really sure how they do. But you just assume that blindly, that it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
So, favorites of the World Cup going in, they're probably 5 teams.
Yeah. So, and
then an outsider 6th team.
So, I think New Zealand, deservedly with their reputation, regardless of recent
Is that
form.
why you're wearing black today? I know it's like Orlando Pirates, but are you supporting New Zealand for the World Cup?
Maybe. No. I'm not going to support New Zealand. I respect them, and I've got nothing against them, but, all for the box. But I think they deservedly go into the World Cup as favourites, because
they're not, though. They're not going in as favourites.
Who are the favourites?
I think it's Wales, dude. I genuinely think Wales are going in as favourite. Wales or England.
Let me get the bookies odds.
So they say, people are saying that it's going to be a South Africa versus New Zealand final. But I think Wales are going in as favourites, bro.
What do you think of that? Your opinion. Who do you think deserves going as favourites, regardless of rankings? Who do you?
I honestly think going in as favourites is like this bullshit mind game thing that the media just tries to put on teams. For example, I would love to say England, you guys are going in as favourites, to psych them out.
Yeah.
But Western media won't do that to England because they don't want to let England lose.
Yeah.
So going in as favourites, New Zealand are always favourites. So if they are favourites, it doesn't really affect them. And I think having the favourite badge stamped on you going before the World Cup, I think it does more bad against you than what it will be good, unless on the exception that you're New Zealand.
Yeah. So interestingly, make with this as you will. So I've got the bookies odds, and New Zealand do go in as the bookies sort of favourites. But again, is that a true reflection, or is that just the safe bet because
That's just a safe bet, I think,
Yeah.
personally. It's New Zealand.
and then we actually go in as second favourites.
Dude, I know it. Bro. We've been playing great rugby.
Yeah.
We have a really good squad.
Mm.
It's the first time in a long time we have 4 wingers that are all so good that they can start.
Yeah, it's good for competition.
We
in the
have
side.
3 scrum halves, all 3 good enough to start.
What's the do you know the youngster's name that like broke on the scene recently? He scored like a try against New Zealand and Australia.
It's Yankees.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
fucking good.
one for definitely, obviously one for the present, but obviously one for the future as well.
Yes, dude, he's so good. I think that's also why Faf de Klerk,
Yeah.
who's probably going to start most of the games, he's been playing like recently poorly because he's felt the pressure from
Yeah.
young Elton. Bro.
So yeah, it depends how your mindset. Do you deal well with competition or not? But overall, for a team, you prefer there to be competition for the places. What do you think?
Sorry, repeat that?
So like, in terms of how the individual players deal with it, they all deal with it differently, having competition around them. But overall, the team you're supporting, you'd like there to be competition.
Oh
for
yes,
individual
dude, because
places.
you literally want the best team there, dude. You want the best team on the day to be on the field. And if you think you're the best,
Yeah.
bro, you might not be as driven. Like because
Yeah.
if you play badly one week, you're gonna be like, shit. Now I'm not gonna play for the next 3 games because that guy who's like chilling on my shoulder. It's like,
Yeah.
what's the saying? Chilling on my shoulder. He's gonna literally play the next game, and if he plays well, he's gonna start every game.
I think it takes a very special individual to not have competition and still keep themselves motivated to continuously improve. But for the general sense, the one way you stay on your toes is having someone that's like right behind you, pushing you. So I think it's good. It's good that we've got
Good for the
competition.
I agree. So Ryan, you obviously know significantly less than what I do in rugby.
100%.
I'm not saying that I know a lot.
Yeah.
That's literally not what I'm trying to say. But like, what's your goal for this World Cup? Are you gonna watch all the games? Are you gonna watch all the games?
So whether I watch all the games, that's very dependent on when the games are on and stuff like that. Obviously.
So the nice thing is the World Cup's in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's not like the World Cup's in the States. So none of our games are going to be at 10 in the evening,
Yeah.
1 in the morning.
Yeah.
The earliest game is 5 in the morning. It's now Central African time.
Yeah.
And then it ranges from 5 till about, I think,
Yeah.
2 in the afternoon.
So obviously during the week, during like working hours, it'll be hard to watch every game. But
What are you talking about, bro? You got your Supersport stream on.
maybe
The screen on the side
maybe
there.
I'll sort something out. But we've actually chatted about this before. Is even when you're not interested in a sport or you've lost interest in a sport along the way somewhere, once it's a World Cup,
Oh, bro, it just gets you psyched.
Get you
It's
psyched.
Like the Olympics. It's like
Yeah,
the Olympics.
like the
I
Olympics.
don't fucking watch running ever. But
Oh,
dude,
what are
when
you
it's the Olympics, dude, I want to go watch Usain Bolt.
what are you telling me? You don't watch every IAAF and every FINA?
No, I don't.
No
I
one
definitely
does.
don't. It's exactly the same. I completely agree.
So yeah, so I'm psyched. I'm definitely going to watch all the big games. Definitely the games which the Boks are participating in, and I'm going to obviously keep my beady eye on those favourites that you mentioned, such as Wales, England, New Zealand.
Let's be honest, dude. Like rugby has been dominated by the southern teams.
Yeah.
For pretty much all of eternity.
Yeah.
We could put a Bradbury special on England winning it in 2003. Just because it was the first Northern Hemisphere side to ever win it.
Yeah, that's true.
They're the only Northern Hemisphere side, and they were kind of favourites. But I just wanted to make a little jab at the English rugby fans. You know?
Our boy Johnny, he was
Johnny
something special.
Wilkinson. So, dude, there's three Northern Hemisphere sides that could win it.
Yeah.
Actually, anyone could win it. Because at the
So-
end of the day, a knockout game, you just have to be better than your opponent.
So who are the three? So you're going with Wales, Ireland,
and England.
England.
And then I've got like a wild card with maybe France. That's
Okay.
what I think.
So like general rugby fans would always see France as that wild card, the team that could lose every single game, or the team like in 2011 that make it to the final. They're just that unpredictable side. You never know what France side is gonna pop up on the day.
I wouldn't know.
How's their? I don't know. How's
think
it?
so.
Do you know what their form is going into this tournament? Where are they ranked?
Let's have a pop. So they're ranked. Their ranking is, I've got it written down. Yes. So they're ranked 8th in the world at the moment.
Okay.
and they've been runner-ups 3 times in 87, 99, and 2007.
So always the
87, 99, and 2011.
always the bridesmaid, never the bride for good old France.
Shame.
Yeah. I'd say the same for our Proteas side, but they've actually never been to a final.
Yeah,
so.
they never have. They can't even get into the 3rd versus 4th match, dude. Because there isn't one, because it's stupid. So the French side, let's check their form. French rugby.
And then one side that's sort of been neglected in any conversation is Australia.
They've just been so... They played a brilliant game of rugby against New Zealand when they beat New Zealand.
Yeah.
They didn't beat, they pumped New Zealand.
So tell me, how does that work? I mean, obviously some days are better than others, but at that like level, they got pumped by South Africa, but then they go and they beat New Zealand by quite a bit.
Yeah,
So,
we drew against New Zealand.
yeah, so it's weird how the sport works sometimes. Just because you beat another team by a long way doesn't mean you can't beat the team that drew to that team. It's like a
It's also some teams like counteract each other, and it's like, dude, rugby is also one of those games where the referee has such a major effect on the game. Like, it's like, like football, you get a referee that just slows the game down. You get the same thing in rugby. You get like referees that are just like stringent on every call. And for example, Argentina play like a dirty, messy game around the ruck and the maul.
Yeah.
And if you have a good referee, dude, they're not going to get away with anything. And then that's their game, dude. That's like their game plan.
Yeah.
So France played against Italy in their warm-up game.
Yeah.
So Italy, they're not really favored in all. I think they're in South Africa's group. They're basically ranked 14th in the world right now. So they've actually dropped a lot.
So they're also one of those teams that like they're always considered like fairly good, but they've never really made that next step up to
Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
They just they're alright. They play good rugby, but they never really reach that step where they
I'm
can.
going to be honest. I don't watch Italian rugby, so I can't tell you.
Only time I've really seen them is when they play against us, and they put
and
on.
it's a World Cup fixture.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time you watch rugby.
It's not expose me. What are you talking about? I watch every game.
So France beat Italy. They pumped them 47-19.
Ooh, okay.
Scotland beat France 17-14. So I think that was the Six Nations match.
Yeah, and then Wales lost to Ireland, eh?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
And then France pumped Scotland when they were at home, 32-3.
So.
And then they pumped Italy again in the Six Nations. Oh, those were just international friendlies.
Yeah, this warm-ups there.
Yeah, and then Six Nations, they got pumped by Ireland. They pumped Scotland. England beat them bad, dude, 44-8. Okay, but like let's not go into too much detail for the French rugby team because they're a wild card out.
Yeah.
Like team on the side. They'll probably progress from their group. They're in Pool C. They're in a group with England, France, Argentina, USA, and Tonga. So like I said, you have your two favorites in the group, England and France.
They'll progress.
And then Argentina. Not necessarily that they'll progress. Like I said, Argentina.
Oh, Argentina, France, England.
Argentina play a dirty game.
That's
dude.
actually like a mini group of death over there.
When I say a dirty game, it's not that they cheat.
Yeah.
It's they do things that are like grey area.
That
like grey area. Is it a penalty? Is it not?
Yeah.
But they are penalties. But they get away with them. But if they get away with them on the day, they can beat France, and then it's England and Argentina through. But I think England will comfortably top their group.
Yeah.
It's going to end England. I don't know how it's going to end. But England are going to top their group.
So I think
Tonga is going to come last. USA is going to come second last.
So we can agree those the three teams, England, France, and Argentina, they're going to finish 1, 2, and 3.
Just don't know the order.
The order. That's like the closest.
That's going to be the most exciting group, excluding the most exciting game of the groups is definitely going to be the South Africa versus New Zealand.
Yeah, just because many people between them they've won 5 World Cups. So
exactly. It's the group that's got the most World Cups in it. 5, like you said.
Yeah.
And then the only 2 other teams that have won it are Australia and England.
So I was showing to someone the other day. What's your opinion of South Africa and New Zealand facing each other in their first match? Do you rate? Because it can work both ways. Maybe they go in it too heavily, and maybe cause some injuries in an opening fixture, or it can be good because you get a feel for top level opposition at the highest level in the first game, and you can build on that for the rest of the tournament. How do you see it as a positive, negative, or just doesn't matter?
I would have liked to speak about that when we were actually in the South Africa New Zealand group, but we can go.
Okay, we're going into order of groups. Okay.
Yeah, we can go into it now if you want.
Oh, we can get back to it.
Can we get back to it?
Yeah, let's go back to it. Let's
Is
get
it
back
fine?
to it.
So just since we focus on Pool C now, like England, definitely front runners.
Yeah.
And remember, in rugby, it's important where you place in your group as well, because if you're first in your pool, you play whoever came second, I think, in the other pool. So
that's
I
true.
think Pool C plays against Pool B.
Okay.
No, Pool C plays against Pool D. Sorry.
Oh, really? Okay, so Pool C against Pool D, Pool B against. Okay.
Yes, so that's how it works. So if you come first in Pool A, you're going to play second in Pool B in the quarterfinal.
Okay.
So that's important. But then it's also like what side of the like, you know, the diagram, what side you end. So this is like big for South Africa and New Zealand. So that's why that first game is so important for South Africa and New Zealand and actually England, because England are like hypothetically the third favorites. Like they're going in as the third favorites. Their coach is Eddie Jones. He's won a World Cup with South Africa. I think he's won a World Cup with New Zealand.
Okay, so Eddie Jones. So Jake White won the World Cup.
Yes, with Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones is the assistant coach.
Oh, that's actually a good point. And then he was coaching Japan.
Yes.
At the next
when they
World
pumped South Africa.
Yeah. Then I remember there was that bit of drama because then he got hired as one of the South African domestic team's coach.
Eddie Jones.
Yeah.
Jake White did. I know Jake White did. I'm not sure about Eddie Jones.
But then Eddie Jones got a better job, I think, as the England coach, and then he quickly jumped ship.
Yeah, I would jump shit as well.
I would have done the exact 100%. Same thing. So,
dude, it's end of the day, you're working for yourself, dude. You're not working for Jake White.
Yeah. So Pool C's gonna be an exciting one. But yeah, poor USA and Tonga, they're gonna be the whipping boys. Although, do you remember that match in the 2007 World Cup between USA and South Africa?
Where that guy was so flipping fast. Dude.
Yeah, he rounded a banner and got.
It was flipping beautiful.
IOB Try of the Year. It was ridiculous.
I know. Dude, it was beautiful.
So, I mean, even as a South African fan.
And a banner races cheetahs on weekends.
And then he couldn't even. So how fast is that guy?
I don't know, dude. A banner races cheetahs on weekends, dude. So do we have an agreement on that pool?
Yeah, Pool C done and dusted.
Is it like so? Like who's going through? Like France, or Argentina? Like just obviously this is just like hypothetical. We're just assuming.
I'm gonna say England, Argentina.
Argentina, you're rooting for the South. I like it. I also want to root for the South, but I think like I said, France on my wild card. I think they're gonna come second.
Okay, so we disagree slightly there, which is good.
I like disagreements, especially with you. Let's go to Pool D, just because we randomly started in Pool C. And like you said, the team we haven't really spoken about, Australia. And this is now Australia, Wales, Uruguay, Georgia, and Fiji.
Yeah.
So Uruguay is the second worst ranked team in the world.
Yeah.
In the tournament, at least, at 19. And Georgia are 12th.
Georgia 12th, okay.
Yeah. So they're not the third worst, but they're not up there. And then Fiji. So people also rate Fiji could surprise a few people, but I'm going to be honest, I can't see Wales not coming first in this group, and I can't see Australia not coming second. It's just sometimes class just does better. And Wales have actually never gotten into a World Cup final.
Yeah,
the best they've done is 2 World Cup semi-finals in '87
and what 2011. Okay, 2011.
So maybe this is their year because they're going in as like maybe 4th favorite.
This is the highest they've probably been ranked going into a World Cup. So you know,
it's going to get to the point like where like with a sport like rugby, injuries are prominent, like it happens. So if the wrong player gets injured, that could be it for your team. So like, for example, I can't think of an example now.
But
no, I can't think of an example.
What do you think? Who do you favor? So Australia with World Cup pedigree, they've constantly competing at the highest level.
Oh, right now, dude, I know what you're gonna say.
Or a team that comes in this form. So you're just going Wales.
They're in hot form. It's not just It's not just that they poor form.
No, fair enough.
Hot form.
So it's between those two teams, and although we can see them both progressing, as you mentioned earlier, coming first in your group gives you a major advantage in the knockout round. So that match between Australia and Wales is going to be crucial.
Yes, it will. But let's see. So they're going to play So they play Pool C. So Pool D plays Pool C. So they are going to play. So whoever comes second is going to play against England. And just like we said, England are with Eddie Jones. They're looking really good. England are most likely going to go through to the semi-final.
Yeah.
So it's kind of important winning your group. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Australia do win their group, it sets them up drastically to progress to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Because I'd much rather play against France or Argentina
Yeah.
versus England.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a team not to be taken lightly, but they're just not coming in with that same type of form that they would have generally come into a World Cup. Sixth in the world, that has to be one of the lowest that Australia's come into a World Cup. I can't remember them being much lower than that.
I don't know that offhand.
Yeah, me either, but
it's typically going into the World Cup, it's typically New Zealand number one, and then Australia, England, South Africa usually follow suit. So
yeah, so you don't really see any surprises there. Australia, Wales, in whatever order.
I can't see Wales or Australia losing any of the games against Uruguay, Georgia, and Fiji.
Yeah, me either.
It's literally
unless Luis Suarez comes in with some dirty tactics.
Wrong sport.
Oh.
And it's like fighting people. To be honest, it's just I think it's going to be. I can't even tell you, dude. I don't know anything about Uruguay, Georgia, or Fiji.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with Australia number one, which I think you going the opposite way with Wales.
I think Wales.
I just got this feeling, class is permanent, form is temporary. So let's go Australia, and in first place, Wales in second. You oppose that? Let's see who wins.
Okay, let's see. And then I'm gonna say Fiji third.
Yeah.
Georgia fourth and Uruguay fifth. I'm assuming you're saying the same.
Yeah.
So just an idea. So let's say you said Australia first. So Australia first. That means they will play. Sorry, let me see. That means they will most likely, if South Africa comes second in their group, that means that they'll most likely play South Africa in the semi-final.
Okay. But South Africa aren't going to come second in their group. South Africa are winning their group, and South Africa are winning every other match after that.
Look, there's a thing that it might actually be better for us to come second. But we'll get to that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to Pool A, and it's actually the pool we should have started on because the opening game is Japan versus Russia.
Yeah.
Which we've already briefly spoken about. The World Cup's in Japan, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best place to go. I wish I had money to actually go to this
That
World
is
Cup.
A country that I'd want to go visit one day.
Exactly.
That's like one of the top ones on the bucket list.
Yeah, and you just the only thing you eat right now is sushi. So
yeah, and I'm gonna
it would be great for you.
So eating wise is gonna be great, and I heard you sometimes find Pokemon walking in the streets, and
there's like massive people like dress up as Pikachu.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
Dancing around.
So I saw. I'm
kind of Pikachu. I'm wearing yellow.
I saw a friend's like Insta story the other day, and I think he was in Japan, and there's like Pokemon shops and all that kind of stuff. So
it's a culture, dude. It's part of the culture.
I'm keen to go there, not just for the country's culture, but also for the Pokemon shops.
Dude, I think now would have been the best time to go. I just don't have the money, unfortunately.
Yeah, bro. Funds of a young working
still
man.
My first job, bro. I can't expect everything.
No, 100%. But in the future.
Dude, I read a joke. Funny enough, where
this better not be inappropriate. That we have to cut it out.
It's not inappropriate. So this guy, has a World Cup final ticket.
Yeah.
And he realized that the final clashed with his wedding date.
I can really see where this is going.
The final clashed with his wedding date. So he put like an ad on Craigslist, or as we would know, like OLX, and he said, I have a ticket for the Rugby World Cup, but it clashed with my wedding. Anyone want to go to my wedding, and you just need to be taller than this and have this, and this, and then it'll be fine.
Just offloading the wife for sport.
Yeah, for sport, dude. That's his podcast.
I can't say that won't be guilty of that one day.
You definitely would.
Sport's my number one bay.
You definitely would. Okay, so Pool A.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the most exciting pool, just because Japan's there.
Yeah, you always keep a closer eye on the host nation, whatever tournament it is.
Exactly, and you always hope they do well, unless you're in their pool.
Yeah, you're not a dick. You want the people at the stadium to be enjoying their time and stuff. So
exactly. So Japan opening game against Russia. I think they'll hopefully it's not like I hope it's a good game of rugby. I hope it's not like a whitewash. And then Samoa, Scotland, Ireland. Ireland are definitely favoured to top the group.
Yes.
IRB rankings put them at number 1. Still don't know how that works.
Where's Scotland again in the rankings?
They're 7th.
Okay, so
Japan are 10th.
Yeah, so Scotland come in with fairly decent form. Okay, so they lost to France in the one match, but they beat France in the other match.
Yeah.
So it's warm-up games. You actually never know what to make out of it.
Dude, it's just like remember you must rotate your squad.
Yeah,
so
true that.
It's not like football where you you're scared of injuries.
Yeah.
Warm-up games in rugby are terrifying.
No, 100%. So Scotland's a side that generally showcases good rugby, and they're generally a good side. They haven't ever really progressed to that next level, but in this group, would you say they're second favourites to progress?
Well, naturally they are because they're one of the top 8 nations.
Yeah.
So like we said earlier, it's like you get your top 2 teams,
yeah.
and you get your one wild card that could possibly sneak in.
Mm.
So Japan is the Argentina of this group, and I don't think Japan are going to worry much against Ireland because Ireland are that much better.
Yeah.
But I think against Scotland, they think they've got a chance.
Yeah.
And if they beat Scotland and don't lose against Samoa, they could go through to the next round and then play whoever comes first.
So Samoa is
in South Africa's group.
Samoa is probably the wild card in this group.
Would you say Samoa? I would say it's Japan.
That's what makes this group so competitive because Samoa's not a side to be taken lightly.
So Ryan, the last time you saw Samoa play was 4 years ago in the last Rugby World Cup. So how do you know that Samoa?
See, they're 16th in the world. That's not too great.
So yeah,
that's not very good, is it?
Yeah. Okay. Wild card for. So Ryan thinks that Samoa is going to come second. That's nice.
No. I'm probably the only person in the world that would actually give a stupid prediction like that.
No, dude. The Samoans would say the same thing.
But
they're patriotic. You're not.
No, so naturally, this group's an easy one to predict. I'm not saying you're going to get it right, but how do you not go with Ireland first and then Scotland second? In my opinion, those are the 2 teams I'd go with, and that's not like a expert opinion. That's just what's on paper makes sense.
I don't know, dude. I honestly think Japan could beat Scotland.
So if
on their day.
So on their day, what would you give your prediction though?
They beat South Africa 4 years ago, dude.
What would your prediction be? Just give a prediction.
Japan to beat Scotland 15-13.
Ooh, okay. So you're gonna go Ireland first in the group, Japan second.
Scotland third, Samoa fourth, Russia fifth.
Okay. So I'm just gonna change that. Just have the same one.
Russia are gonna score less than 20 points in the whole tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go the opposite, just changing second and third around, and I'm gonna have.
What about Samoa, dude? You just said Samoa is the wild card of the group.
I'm gonna.
You can't put Samoa fifth.
I said wild card, dude.
You can't put them fifth if you think it's your wild card.
No, Samoa's fourth in my group.
Okay.
They're fourth. Okay. Just because you're a wild card, that means that you're not favored. The fact that you're a wild card means you're not favored to go through.
Then why would you put them at not third? If you put them as your wild card to maybe come third, come second in the group, because surely they have to come third.
No, because Japan's just an even better wild card.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Japan's just a better wild card. So Japan third, Samoa fourth, Ireland first, Scotland second. We went about this in a weird way, but that's my final.
You went about this in a weird way.
That's my final prediction. Good old Russia, they're going to finish fifth.
Okay. So, dude, I just like to go. I'm assuming we're going to speak about this. Okay, no, let's speak about it later. It's fine. Never mind. My bad. Let's go to the only important group in our eyes. The group that has South Africa and New Zealand. I think this is the group that's going to be focused on by the many just because of the 2 big names in the group.
Yeah. I mean, out of the 8 World Cups, these 2 sides alone occupy 5 of the championships. So, big group.
It's big. And South Africa want that 3rd one to tie with New Zealand.
Yeah.
And New Zealand want the 4th one to break speed ahead, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
form some daylight between them and the rest.
Yeah, not that they already have because they're so much better. So, dude, I think, let's be honest. After the first game, your question earlier saying what effect it will have on the team's mentality and basically how they progress through the tournament. I personally don't think losing against New Zealand is a bad thing. If England top their group, you avoid England in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
If you come second, which is massive, I think. You in a World Cup, you have to beat everyone. The moment you get into the knockout, you have to beat who's ever in front of you.
100%.
But if you could avoid the second favourites
in the 2007
or
World
third
Cup,
favourites. Oh, we got lucky, dude. We didn't play against New Zealand or Australia.
Yeah, so the draw does help.
That definitely helps, dude.
And you know what? In terms of mentality, whether you win or lose that big game, I mean, I'm talking from the mentality from both sides' point of views. You know what you can expect from top-level opposition playing at their best right from the beginning. So come, let's say, the quarterfinals, you've already come up against the best that you can probably face at a World Cup. Whereas maybe if England, for instance, in their group, wherever they face England, whether it be quarterfinals or semi-finals, if they cruise through their group or something and they haven't really faced the toughest of tests as of yet, maybe
It's happened before, you're right.
Maybe that favours South Africa or New Zealand.
Exactly. Since when we won the World Cup in 2007, we had England in the group. We fucked them up in the group.
Yeah.
And then literally in the final, it was a bit of a tighter game.
And there's that tight. Remember that tight try that got disallowed?
I can't remember.
So England scored in the corner, and they replayed that try like 10 times.
They had to, bro. It's a World Cup final, bro. They need to do that for the Cricket World Cup final, so Stokes doesn't get flipping gifted a run he wasn't deserved.
You bring this up every single podcast.
I know, we're going to.
And I'll ask you not to.
Until the next World Cup. Anyway,
Man.
So you're probably going to say wild card is Canada, I'm assuming.
Oh,
and then you're going to put them in fourth place. Ryan's Canadian, by the way. He's Canadian. So
that's true.
He's naturally going to probably be supporting Canada.
Canada. Carl got an IQ of 3. Can't even pronounce Canada. But Canada's definitely a wild card. I mean, they're used to such treacherous conditions. The colds that come to a nice, warm climate. Is
it warm? Japan's an island, dude. Surely it's humid there. I don't really know the weather.
I don't know. I'm just saying any bullshit that can favor Canada at this point. Let's be honest. They're probably the least favored team in the whole tournament.
Actually, funny enough, now that you mention that, I was wrong with saying Russia's the poorest ranked team in the World Cup. It's actually Namibia and Canada, and they're all in this group.
Don't tell me don't tell me Canada's lost.
Canada's lost, dude. Canada's the worst ranked team in the Rugby World Cup.
Oh man, well at least they snuck through.
At least they qualified.
At least they snuck in. So
they got, for example, Kenya didn't qualify, but I think only 2 African teams can qualify. That's why Kenya didn't make it.
So I'm gonna say Canada's gonna finish above Namibia. The battle of the lowest ranked teams.
So another thing, before we speak about the New Zealand-South Africa game, so we mentioned prior to this episode, top point scorers. So top point scorers, top try scorers in the tournament. So I generally think it's going to be, the way that's decided is on those games where your team wins 94-3, for example. Yeah. And the fact that Canada and Namibia are in this group, I think that your top point scorer, hear me out, is going to be either a New Zealander or a South African.
Okay, so we're going for maybe a Andre Pollard, or.
So I don't think Pollard's going to be playing against Namibia, dude, or Canada. I don't think. So that's the other thing. So you need to put someone who's going to be playing both games.
Okay.
So I'm telling you now, they're going to play Yankees in the one game and they're going to play Pollard in the other. They're not going to play him in both games.
Okay.
So your top point scorer is going to probably be someone who plays in both games.
Okay.
So I think it's maybe going to be Beauden Barrett.
Oh, good old Beauden. 2-time IRB Player of the Year. And I guess this brings us to our first trivia question of the day. Trying to put you on the spot here.
You can. I'm going to get it wrong, dude. I just know it.
So, talking about highest point scorers, who's the highest point scorer in what Rugby World Cup history?
In a game or in total?
Overall.
Overall. So it's gonna be a fly-off. Am I right?
You never know.
So it's either... So it's someone who's played in a lot of World Cups and they've been successful. So generally in the older World Cups, there was a bigger gap between the best and the worst. So
Okay.
I'm thinking it's a New Zealander.
I'm not going to give any clues.
But it could also be Johnny Wilkinson because he was also so good in 2003.
Could be.
I think it's between Wilkinson and Carter, dude. I'm going to say Carter.
Oof. It was your initial one, Johnny Wilkinson.
Was it?
Mm.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, he had a blinder in 2003. So,
And then he still played in 07 as well.
yeah. So, Johnny Wilkinson played in 99, 2003, 2007, and 2011.
Yeah, see, that's why he's... And
Yeah.
how many points did he get?
277.
And who's second?
Uh,
Do you have that?
Gavin Hastings from New Zealand. Early Rugby World Cup
Like
days.
I said, it's going to be someone
Yeah.
before my time.
Yeah, and so you're oh no, sorry, he's from Scotland. Scotland shows how little I know about early rugby days.
Shows how little you know about a flag.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a New Zealand flag. Yeah, 227 points. So there's
So how
quite
much
a big
how
gap.
much did
50 points.
Wilkinson have?
50 points more than that, so
Oh.
277. So there was a big gap between first and second. Just shows how good Johnny was in his prime.
Well, it just shows you that he took all the kicks, dude.
Yeah.
Also,
Scored
and,
that-
and he was consistently the best fly
Yeah.
off for. But he always took a fucking drop goal, dude.
That's,
Sometimes annoying. It's like you've got a gap on the wing and he goes for fucking drop goal.
that's another thing I would have asked you. Who has the most drop goals
Johnny Wilkinson.
in? But it's back by a long way. He's got the most drop goals.
Yeah, because he did it like every game. He did it when they were flipping 40 points up, and he still did it. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Come on, man.
Okay,
He's a stats player, bro. He's like, you know, like cricketers often get termed stats, like they're playing
Yeah.
for their stats.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Wilkinson was one of those guys.
yeah, another thing, unfortunately for Johnny, he suffered a lot with injuries that sort of like, hastened his career a bit. Because after the 2003 World Cup, he was like the world star, but then afterwards, just those niggling injuries just prevented him from playing consistently. But yeah, he was definitely a player. He was a player.
Okay.
So that was the first trivia of the day.
Okay. But let's move on to the big game. It's next week Saturday, or this
Yeah.
Saturday when this episode airs.
Mm.
South Africa versus New Zealand. I think New Zealand are going to win.
Okay.
Not by far. It's going to be a tight game. I just hope we have no injuries.
Yeah.
And especially in South Africa's team, like if I have to focus on our players the most, we have so much depth right now.
Mm.
We have great wings. We have a great front row. We have two sets of front rows that
Yeah.
are like really, really actually top quality. On a given day, you could choose both of them. Like we've got 4 really good props. We've got Eben Etzebeth is probably in the best form he's been in his whole career.
Yeah, absolute beast.
He's going to be our like strong dominating figure. He's our former captain. I think it's better that he's not captain.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that Sia Khaleesi's captain.
Mm.
And he has to basically win those lineouts for us, be that dominating figure in the scrums, in the center, at the back.
Yeah.
We don't want 3 players getting injured.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So Andre Pollard, we don't want him getting injured.
Yeah.
Yankees, the other fly-off.
Yeah.
It is Yankees, right?
Alton.
No, Elton's the scrum off. Dude, am I wrong?
Alton.
Dude, I am so cooked. I'll tell you now.
But yeah, like I mean, so whilst you find that out, it is just you try hard in every game, but
Dude,
but
Elton
psychologically,
Yankees is the fly-off. We were
Yeah.
talking about Herschel Yankees.
Yes,
earlier.
no, but
God, we're idiots, dude.
well, technically you're the idiot because I
Yeah.
did say Alton.
No, Elton is the fly-off.
I
You
know.
said Elton earlier, dude. That was wrong.
No,
It's
I
Herschel.
said Alton Yankees is the fly off.
No, you didn't.
We're gonna rewatch this tape.
You didn't.
We're gonna rewatch
We're
this
going
tape.
to, and we're both going to be idiots.
We're both idiots.
We're both idiots.
But-
Okay, anyway, Herschel Yankees. So people we don't want injured.
Yeah.
is Andre Pollard.
Yeah.
He's had most of the game time of recently.
Mm.
He is definitely the better fly-off in current form.
Yeah.
if he gets injured, we might have a problem.
Yeah.
Not that Elton can't do the job. It's just Henry at the moment is in better
Yeah, I
form.
mean, you got your favorite players, and you want them to be there for the big games.
Exactly.
Especially Andre Pollard's got that World Cup experience, and he was a top point scorer at the previous World Cup, so he's got that
Was he
experience
the
there.
top point scorer overall, or just South Africa?
No, overall top point scorer at the last World Cup.
That's the benefit of playing the third versus fourth match, I guess.
Yeah, just stats padding.
Yeah, stats padding. Now we get it.
But yeah, so it is one, and just like I was going to mention earlier, you try hard in every game. You're playing for your country, but psychologically, those games you try a little bit harder than others.
And New Zealand's going to be one of them, dude.
Yeah, so that is a game where you'll be prone to get more injuries than other games. So let's hope for both sides, because I want to see the best New Zealand throughout the tournament, as well as I want to see the best South Africa throughout the tournament. Let's hope
Just
for both.
for good rugby, yeah.
Yeah, let's hope for both sides that no injuries occur.
So the Springboks, and at least at Chelsea, so the Springboks have basically three kickers. It's Pollard, Francois Steyn,
And Yankees.
So
Steyn will take the longer ones.
Steyn's going to be on the bench, dude. I don't think he's going to start many games.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come off the bench as experience
Yeah.
and basically as an impact sub. And I think the same with Herschel. Yankees is going to do the same thing. Faf is going to start most games. And I think we have so much depth in so many crucial positions where we haven't had in previous World Cups.
Yeah.
We have a very good chance of winning.
Yeah, I think this is
The whole thing, not just against New Zealand.
there's a positive vibe around. People are feeling good about things. The rugby championship, with that win against Australia, with that draw against New Zealand, we feel better against the top teams going into this World Cup than we might have felt.
Well, dude,
previous World Cup.
A year and a half ago, everyone was like, "Oh, we're going to be so stuffed at the World Cup." Then we watched the Cricket World Cup and we saw how pathetic the Proteas were, and we were like, "Well, our only hope is the Springboks now."
That's the lovely thing about having both World Cups in the same year. You go into a low, and then you go on a bit of a high at the end of the year.
Exactly.
So,
dude, I'm assuming you're going to say South Africa topping the
yeah,
group.
I'm gonna go South Africa top in the group, New Zealand second,
Canada third.
no, Italy third, Canada fourth, and Namibia a resounding fifth.
Okay, and then your top point scorer, I think it's going to be Bowden Barrett. I think he's going to play in all the games.
Yeah, top point scorer for the whole competition.
The whole competition.
I'm
whole
gonna go,
Or it's going to be someone from Wales. Ooh,
or maybe the Irish fly off. Saxton, yeah.
that's Sexton. I don't know, dude. They've got... Okay. So you're saying Sexton?
Just because if you get it wrong, it's like who cares? If
Yeah,
you get it
that's
right,
basically
then
who
you're
cares.
a hero.
Okay, and then top point, a try scorer? Do you know enough players to be able to name this?
Yeah, bro. Brian Abana. Brian Abana's not playing. How can that be? I don't know, dude.
I'm going to say... Fuck, I'm going to be so wrong. Cheslin Colby.
Why do you
Top
say him?
try scorer. Because, dude, I don't know. It's a thumb suck, dude. Obviously, like I said, the Springboks we are in this really blessed phase where we have 4 excellent wingers. And it's just on the day, if you score a try, I just think when Cheslin's going to play, he's going to score his tries.
Fair enough.
And I don't know, it's going to be Cheslin or Mapimpi if it's someone from South Africa.
Okay. And then the probably the biggest, how can I say, favourites from like the New Zealand side would probably be their wingers.
Yo, who do you think's going to...
So their wingers at the moment, George Bridge, Rico Ione, and Sevu, is it Reese?
I don't know. You're
I'm literally reading them as it is. I don't know their form or records going into this World Cup, but we've seen from previous World Cups, New Zealanders tend to be very high try scorers.
Exactly.
And this brings us to our next trivia. Who is the highest top try scorer in Rugby World Cup history? I'll give you a clue. There's 2 of them.
It's easy, dude.
Easy.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
tell
an
me.
easy question.
Don't tell me it's easy.
Dude, they both have 15 tries. Am I
Oh,
right?
I feel a bit stupid. This is supposed to be a difficult one.
It's John Alomi
Okay.
and good old Brian Abana.
Ah. Oh,
And Brian O'Banner scored 8 in 2007, I think.
Okay.
I think.
No, he did. He did. And guess what? John Lomo also scored 8.
In 95.
Yeah. So well done you. That you took that trivia like a bitch. Or you made that trivia your bitch.
Exactly.
Sorry.
It was an easy question.
Here's a bonus question though.
Yes.
The third highest try scorer in Rugby World Cup history, recent player from Australia. He played either wing or fullback. So he participated between 2007 and 2015.
Dude, I don't know.
Drew Mitchell.
Never would have guessed.
Drew Mitchell.
Could have just named 2 random white people names and I would have gone with Drew Mitchell.
Drew Mitchell. Yeah,
I'd
it's
never
a
have guessed that.
stereotypical white man name.
I would never have guessed Drew Mitchell, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, man. So getting back to that group, the fact that you think...
I think it'll be beneficial for South Africa to lose the game, dude.
Yeah, but that's not how people think. Just so...
But there's another fun fact. No team who's won the World Cup has ever lost a pool game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's like a fun fact.
That's 8. That's out of 8 different World Cups. All of those teams have won every game in their pool. That's
Literally,
ridiculous.
they won every game in the World Cup. Won or drew every game in the World Cup.
Wow. Okay.
That's a fun fact.
That's a fun fact of the day. 100%.
Yeah.
But the fact that you said New Zealand are going to win the game.
I still think South Africa are going to win the World Cup.
Okay, so
just because I'm patriotic.
Yeah, so South Africa are going to win the World Cup.
You know.
But you put South Africa as coming second.
Dude,
in
I
their
thought
group.
South Africa was going to win the Cricket World Cup, and look where they ended, dude.
I remember.
I was like, I still said before the first game, I was like, guys, I think this is our year. I don't know if you remember me saying it. You know what? I wasn't wrong. It was our year. It was our year of embarrassment.
That was the worst World Cup that we've ever had. But,
yeah.
I don't want to...
But, dude, I honestly think, Brew, stats like that is just coincidence, dude. It's not... They don't mean anything.
Yeah.
World Cup, you normally play on, like, foreign soil. It's a rare chance. Next World Cup is in France. We won in France in 2007.
That's true.
So
that's a quick turnaround for them. Having another
we actually competed against them and we lost it because of political reasons.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good World Cup. Maybe we should go to France in 4 years.
Start saving.
Yeah.
Start
It's
saving.
going to be so expensive.
Yeah, they're definitely excited.
So, dude, I think New Zealand, South Africa, Italy, and let me also say Canada and Namibia.
And you know what? We can review this.
After the World Cup.
After the group stages going into the knockout round to see how well our predictions worked out, dude, and then do another prediction to see who progresses to the final.
Exactly, dude.
But it's going to be a good one for us. I think South Africa are going to do well.
I think they're going to do well. I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's our year and jinx them. I'm just going to say I think they're going to do well.
Okay. I'm going to say it's our year.
Third time's the charm.
I'm going to say it's our year because the Springboks they don't really let us down.
Dude, and Rossi Erasmus is an excellent coach.
Yeah. They don't really let us down.
He drops the P-bomb every fucking game.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing to watch, like the coaches, behind that like glass.
Yeah, they get so flippin' passionate.
And
Rossi's one of those guys that literally you can just see everything. You can hear him through. There's not even a mic there, but you can hear him.
Like foreign viewers, they probably have no idea what words are being said.
Exactly.
But we can see those mouth movements. We know, Rossi. We know.
And you know what the other great thing about having New Zealand in your group?
Yeah.
It's impossible to see them other than in the final. So we go immediately, since we're in the same group, we go on separate sides of the ladder.
I see what you mean.
And that means the next time we see them is either in the third versus fourth playoff match. The what do we call it? Stats padding.
Stats padding match, yeah.
Stats padding match.
Yeah.
Or we play them in the final.
And you know what? I think I'm not just saying this from a biased point of view, but I think from a rugby neutral point of view,
that would be the best final.
That's a dream final.
Exactly. A repeat to 95.
Yeah, I want
goosebumps, dude.
I want to see New Zealand and South Africa in the final. That's the final I want to see.
I'll take off leave, dude. Oh, it's probably on a weekend. I don't need to.
So let's hope that works. And yeah, I think we've given all the how can I say feedback on those groups that we can.
So who do you think? Let's go. Yeah. So we can get back to this when the pool's out. Who do you think are going to be in the semi-finals? That's 4 teams.
Okay. So of course I'm going to put New Zealand and South Africa. So I just need to see how that works out. So
pool C and D play against each other in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
So they go, just think of it like this.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Look at me. Think of it like this. So winner A goes there, winner B goes there.
Yeah.
Winner C goes there, winner D goes there.
Okay.
And then literally they just alternate.
Okay. So South Africa, if I put South Africa top of Pool B, so they're going to beat
So they're going to play
Scotland.
They're most likely going to play, I said Japan.
Okay, so I said they're going to play Scotland, win. New Zealand are going to play Ireland and win. Okay, so those two are in the semi-finals on the opposite sides. Pool C and D, I said England are going to beat Wales. So I'm going to say England are going to beat Wales, and I'm going to say Australia are going to beat Argentina.
So do you think England are going to come second in their group? Or Wales is going to come second in their group?
I said this before. Australia are going to top their group.
Oh, you did.
So yeah, I've got Australia. So I'm going to have New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, and England.
That's quite ballsy, dude. You rate Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like it. I'm saying New Zealand, South Africa. That's the easy one. Let's be honest. Nice thing is, like I said, we won't play them in the semi-final, so we have a guaranteed meet up either, like I said, third versus fourth or in the final. And then England, that's the nice thing is if we come second, we miss England in the semi-final.
Yeah.
And then I think it's going to be, let's see, Wales. I don't know. Wales or France?
You gotta go.
France is my wild card. I'm gonna say Wales.
Okay.
That would be stupid. Nah, let me fucking go balls to the wall. I'm gonna say France.
Dude. So you got France, England, South Africa, New Zealand.
Yes.
So you've actually got the top two from Pool B and C. Top two teams from both Pool B and C.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, so Pool A, Pool D, you're just throwing them aside. This is just a championship between Pool B and C. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you'll see. So we've actually got the same, except I've got Australia instead of France.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wait.
So, as is customary,
Bradbury Special.
we end with the Bradbury
and
Special.
It's World Cup themed.
So, Carl, can you tell us?
So close to our hearts. So apparently,
Yeah.
so this South African rugby side were the first team to arrive in Japan. And as soon as you arrive in Tokyo Airport, there's apparently this massive billboard of a picture of Japan beating the Springboks in the previous World Cup.
Because that's their most famous victory.
That's their most famous victory in rugby.
And that is our Bradbury Special.
Exactly. Tell us more about it.
Well, I just remember literally being on the edge of my seat, not understanding what is going on here.
I was mad.
With all due respect to Japan, I didn't expect that. That's why it's called the biggest upset in World Cup history. And it was a tense game. It was a good game of rugby, actually. Not from our side of things, but from an excitement point of view, it was awesome. And we were in the lead until the very last play of the game. And they scored in the corner right at the end.
And the final score was 34-32. They kicked it over, I think.
Dude.
Did they kick it over? I can't remember, dude.
I think they might have. They might have. Yeah. I think it was tied, and they had to score the conversion. Brew, that was just depressing. But you know what? All due respect to South Africa, they knuckled down, still topped their group, still progressed to the semi-finals where they just narrowly.
I remember they played their second side against Japan. It's going to be an easy game.
Never underestimate your opponents, I guess, eh?
You never underestimate, especially in a World Cup, dude. That's why Harry Kane got Golden Boot. And that's exactly why I think Cheslin Colby or Bowden Barrett are going to get top try scorers. Or you get that from those small games where you pump a team 80-0.
Yeah, bully Namibia and Canada.
Exactly.
That's another reason why I don't like the third and fourth playoff, because some player that's genuinely got the best stats for beating the best teams, he plays in a very close final in which not a lot of points might be scored, and some guy plays in like a 40-30 fun third and fourth playoff and gets a lot of points and becomes the top point scorer.
Exactly, and the third versus fourth playoff is way more free-flowing rugby.
Yeah, because no one cares.
Because no one cares, dude. Where in literally the final, it's usually a tight, boring game.
Yeah, we see that like in most sporting tournaments, like also like in football, the World Cup final. It's so tense. Not this last World Cup final, France ran riot, but generally it's so tense. Your defense is solid. You don't want to give anything away. Third and fourth playoff, you just play balls to the wall and play freely, because third is the same as fourth in many people's opinion. So yeah, it is like a stat padding match. But yeah, that's our Bradbury Special, Japan versus South Africa. Oof, still gets me to this day.
No, not really. I got over it.
Yeah, well,
I got over it.
It's good for the World Cup knowing that anything is possible.
Well, it's good for Japan, dude. Like I said, I want Japan to go through the groups, and I hope they do.
And teams that aren't favoured look at that result and they see,
shit, we can beat the Goliath.
Just got to believe in yourself.
Exactly.
Sweet, Carl.
Oh, dude. Ryan, thanks for coming.
Cool, bro.
And we'll see you later.
Yep.
Like when I say later, I mean in the next episode.
Yep. Cool. Sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.